in these verses, David has present-day trust based on God's past faithfulness. In the past, God had been a shelter and a strong tower for David. The 46th Psalm says it like this. It says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Again, we need to get along with God and allow him to take us higher in him, and we'll be reminded that God is trustworthy. We'll be reminded that God is reliable. Has anyone online ever tried God for yourself? And you can say like me that you find God to be a friend, and no matter what crisis comes in your life, you can say, you can't make me doubt God because I know too much about God. On him, on the rock that is higher than me, I can depend. Are there any? I tried him and I know him, saints. Online today, David further states that I will abide in your tabernacle forever. The word tabernacle simply means is another word for tent. The tent of God was a refuge for the weary travelers. It was a place where protection and hospitality are given to honored guests. It was the tabernacle of meeting, the center of Israel's sacrifice and worship. You see, too many people, when they feel overwhelmed, they want to run from the church when they need to be running to the church. God knows just what we need. If we come desiring to hear from God, God will allow the songs to minister to you. God will allow the prayer that the preacher prays to minister to you. God will allow the word from the one who's preaching to make it seem like it already know your personal business. And within the fellowship of believers, God may have a divine appointment already set for you if you come to the tent of God in person or online. You can, right now, you can make a comment in the comment section. If you're online, we can still be able to minister with you and to you. You don't have to put out all your business, all your details. You can just say, when we get to the invitation to discipleship, or put it in right now, somebody will grab your info and say, I need to talk to somebody about my walk with the Lord. I need to talk to somebody about what's going on in my life. I need somebody that knows Jesus. I need somebody who tried it and know it for themselves. I need to be able to talk to somebody who God has answered a prayer for. Preach, man. Don't run from the church. Run to it. Finally, David says in verse 4, says, I will trust in the shelter of your wings. Wings represent a near and protected place that a mother bird gives to its offspring, protecting her chicks from the weather, from enemies. The wings reflect the love of the mother bird toward her chicks. Wings marked and surrounded the interior of God's tabernacle of meeting, and wings, cherubim were on the mercy seat of the ark of the covenant. Now, I don't know exactly who I'm talking to online. I don't know exactly who this message is zeroed in for. You may be at a point where you not only feel overwhelmed, but you're ready to give up. Let me say this. If you give up trying to fix your problems by yourself, if you give up on trying to fix somebody else, if you give up on trying to fight God's battle, and then you cry out person. Don't allow yourself to listen to the devil and try and physically harm yourself. No, give it to God. Because if you think you reach rock bottom, and you cry out to God, let me let you know something. Jesus is the rock that'll be at the bottom. Yeah. You'll discover that he's able to do exceedingly and abundantly above what you could ask. Jesus loves you. Jesus cares for you. So be not dismayed, whatever betide, because God will, I said, God will take care of you. Whatever you're going through, this too shall pass. So when my heart is overwhelmed, I cry out, lead me to the rock that is higher than and then I will do what David does in that concluding verse. If you look at verse 8, David, it doesn't say anything in verses 5 through 7 that God answered the prayer right then and there. But we do get to verse 8 and David starts praising God. Woo! He didn't wait till he got the answer. He started praising God because he knew God, because he had a track record with God, because God is a prayer answering God. So I say to you, stop having a pity party for yourself. Start praising God. God gets no glory out of us having a pity party for ourselves when trouble show up. What God gets glory is when you step out on faith and say, Lord, it don't look like I'm going to make it. It don't look like I got all that I need. It don't sound like what I want to hear from the doctor. But I know you got the final say. Yeah. Lord, I still believe. Yes, sir. I still believe.